school that is well known. The adverts are running on radio. Timazimverera teka adverts ya Malumbo Christian Academy. Baldo mu studio tina my directors wabiri, Mr. and Mrs. So I'm having Mrs. Priska Likasi Piri and Mr. Numero Piri. Both of them are directors of Malumbo Christian Academy. In English, they say ladies first. Allow me to welcome Madam Priska Likasi Piri. Madam, welcome to the discussion today.
Thank you so much. Good evening, our listeners.
Sure. And sir, Mr. Numero Piri, welcome to the program, sir.
Well, thank you so much, and good evening to our viewers.
It's a good thing to have you. And Malumbo Christian Academy, this is a school that everybody's actually looking forward to understand it better or more. And on this program, like you heard already with the introduction, Mr. and Mrs., we discuss issues to do with business. And you being a private entity or running a school, that's Malumbo Christian Academy, it's a business already. And we believe that a lot of experiences actually, taking course with you. So as we begin our discussion, maybe take us through, I will start with you, Madam. How has been the school, Malumbo Christian Academy? Previously, 2022, even before we come to this year, new year, 2023.
Well, the school has been okay, of course, with the ups and downs that we experienced in 2022. With the government, of course, having employed a number of teachers who faced some ups and downs. But by God's grace, we're here and we continue offering the school services. And we pray and that we continue offering the best to our students.
All right. We know that experiences are different at some time, but also, Mr. Numero, I believe you also have your own actually understanding and experience how the school has been last year. Maybe you can help us also.
Yeah, actually, the school has been okay because one thing I believe is when you start doing something, I know you face challenges here and there, and challenges are there to actually build us. Challenges are there to, of course, make us to be better after tomorrow.
Sure.
But otherwise, looking at the challenges that we have faced, like we had COVID, and we had so much restrictions, and I believe even the time when we just started, we were hoping that the school will grow, and which is coming really to fulfillment. The school has grown despite the ups and downs, like my colleague she has mentioned. But otherwise, everything is okay. By God's grace, we are moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to business, I like the term you've used, my colleague. There's nothing to do with my wife or my husband. You are colleagues in business.
Yeah, we are colleagues.
Yeah, exactly. Partners, in fact.
Yeah.
Okay. So for today's discussion, dear listeners, we are having the two directors for Malumbo Christian Academy. And that's Mrs. Priska Likasi Piri and Mr. Numero Piri right in the studios. So my phone is gula anytime soon, so that if you have any contribution or question relating to our discussion, be it maybe in school, we are Malumbo Christian Academy, mungatitumire then wazati yanka directors bari mu studio ba school, because today we want to learn their experiences as well in their journey of a business, be it how this school has been operating. I believe in Chirundu we have a number of schools that are private schools, so to say, which are doing business similar to Malumbo Christian Academy, but we are privileged to have people from this particular one, that's Malumbo Christian Academy, to share some of the things with them. So beginning with our discussion, and let's come to you, my guest in the studio. I'll start with you, Madam. Maybe take us through who is Madam Priska Likasi Piri.
Well, Madam Priska Likasi is Priska Likasi. Yes. A visionary person.
Okay.
I love to do what I do.
That's good.
I love to offer the best, to the people. By the way, I'm a singer. I love to sing.
Wow.
Too much.
Okay.
I'm a born-again Christian, and as well as a government employee. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, Mr. Numero.
Okay. My name is Numero Piri. Myself, I'm a businessman.
Okay.
I'm not only running a school, but I'm also running a clearing company. So I'm actually into business. I'm a believer. I'm born again, and Christ is my living God, and He's the one that has been there for me at all times.
Okay.
So personally, I love challenges. I love to be challenged.
Okay.
Yes, because I know challenges the builders. They make us to be better after tomorrow. And then one thing that I love about, or maybe something that I love so much doing, is I love excellence.
Okay.
In everything that I do, I love putting excellence in it.
Okay.
So that even when others are able to see what I'm doing, it will be able to help them and encourage them also to be better after tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And this is a very interesting part of the discussion that we have to now check. And also, like I said, ladies first. Now, Madam Likasi, help us understand. Some are very funny, but quite interesting. I know your school is got, some early childhood, grades. And I believe there are times that you get to share your story with these young ones, and also maybe your staffs, only maybe at some point to build up, in their careers. Okay, now tell us a little about your early life.
My early life, I was born in the Copper Belt, but I grew up spent much of my early childhood in Lusaka. Unfortunately, it's kwenzelibe maningi yamina ili kumanje early childhood.
Okay.
Twalea kuloko bale tatkuma olofea.
Wall of Fare, that's what's that?
Where you just meet as children, bambili bapunzila at the same place. Unfortunately, I didn't attend nursery school. Twashile sanga faturim grade 1. And so started grade 1 somewhere in Lusaka up to grade 7. I did at Muchinga Primary School. I did my grade. Well, that's where I wrote my grade 7. I went to the same school. I wrote grade 9. Then I went to Material Girls High School.
Okay.
That's where I did my secondary. My early childhood, I've been brought up in a Christian home and Christian setup, and so from early childhood we've been taught the Christian principles and Christian morals from a tender age, because like I said, nichokela family ya born again. We had challenges here and there because I lost my father initially, I think about 10 or so, and challenges were there, and who to pay for school here and there. But then by God's grace, family would come in, wakulipirira kwapa, and I remember one incident, nenina zilipirira poneka, and dogrisama ice block of a road.
Okay.
Yeah, and paid for myself in grade 5 or 6, because wanatipisha ko school. It wasn't easy because of losing that at an early stage, but through God's grace, my brothers and my sisters were tandizana so chabi. Yeah. So through that, here we are by God's grace.
That's good. So, Mr. Piri, your early life.
Yeah, my early life, I was actually born in a place called the Nampundwe. I think if there are people that have been to Nampundwe, Shuyunji, somewhere there near Nampundwe, that's where I was born. And in my school, I did my primary school, I did it. It was a Christian school called Christian Vision Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere there in Makeni. And then I did my primary, my secondary actually, in Mumbwa.
Okay.
Mumbwa High School. Then after that, of course, we completed. Life wasn't too easy, as we all know. Life is full of challenges.
Yeah.
There was one time that I reached at a point to say, is life going to be better? Yeah. I'm one person that even in my early childhood, I always loved doing something. It could be small, whatever that it is, I would put myself into it and just gather myself courage to say this can be done.
Oh, yeah.
And with that motive and that courage that I've had, and I've seen God really stretching out his hand in everything that I do. And I've seen that everything that I begin to do, God has been so faithful. And here we are today. We have what we have, not because that we are clever, or not, or maybe Chifuka, maybe we know connections, or maybe we know which people to talk to, but it is because of God. Chifuka cha Mulungu.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's a little story about my life.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And dear listeners, remember we are discussing with two directors for Malumbo Christian Academy, a private school right based in Chirundu here. Before we come to talk much about the school, we're still trying to maybe understand some of those few things relating to the life profiles of our guests in the studio. Now, coming to business, discussion, I would want to know, before we come to the current business, maybe how the journey started. I'll begin with you, madam. What business were you doing before you intended to start up a school? You were the director, I understand, but I believe there were some other, trials and errors in the process. I don't know if just a error, or maybe it was just all the way successful up to this point. Did you actually venture in any business before the school came in?
Yes. At first, way back, I tried, before I came to Chirundu, I tried a salon in Lusaka.
Okay.
It didn't grow very much. Then by God's grace, I got a job, which brought me to Chirundu. But as you know, we are always encouraged to have multiple sources of income. And I started buying clothes, handbags, would sell. Unfortunately, it didn't go very far because business yo Congolesa. Congolesa, tabwera tundrama, wadia, or sometimes maybe wakoko na kukupasa. It didn't work out.
Okay.
We sourced for some funds and tried the Airtel money.
Okay.
But na yamba, we put in a lot of money. Unfortunately, I think most of the people have heard our story. The person who was working with us, but better go here and there, over 50,000. Okay. And from there, I got discouraged here and there. But then, I gave up. I just said, but then that's when I just had an idea. I just started having an idea. Maybe I can run a school. Maybe it be different. Okay. Yeah. So I failed in a business where you have to order things you bring because of a lot of maybe transportation involved in here and there. Tried Airtel money, kangako here and there because of the money. You know how Airtel money works. But then that's when I started thinking about something else. I told God, I think I need a stable. My husband and I need a stable business that when we invest in, it will help us, not only us, but the people that around us. At least we'll be able to offer a service to the community.
That's a school.
And that's how Malumbo was birthed.
All right. Mr. Piri, I just love it from the onset of your intro, and when you were giving us your the background about yourself, you did mention to say, with me, genuinely, I'm a businessman. Okay, I love it that way because that's the most thing that we want to learn from you today. The way I questioned the madam, say, okay, I would love to know the current business you're doing apart from the school. But again, maybe are there other ventures? How has been the journey, so to say, in terms of your business activities?
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, I said I've been one person that loved doing something.
Sure.
I remember the time when I just completed my grade 12, I was selling talk time.
Wow.
And so good is a talk time.
Mm-hmm.
And I even remember there are some very popular people that are known today. Manasana Mkongole yang yato.
Yeah. I think it was easy.
I know there are people, because the area that I was found with, the place that I was found in Makeni, there's people. There are big people today, and whenever I see them on TV and I see them on social media, I would say, so I've always tried to do something. Yeah. So when I got here in Chirundu, I came in Chirundu in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, I got here in Chirundu in 2010, and I got married in 2014. Yes. So even before I got married, though, I used to work for a different Korean company.
Okay.
Yes. In working with those companies, and then I got married in Nakwatira. And then most of the businesses that we have had today, I started them with my wife.
Okay.
So when we got married, we started the first business that we started. We opened up our own company, a Korean company, and to be honest with you, it's doing fine.
Still existing.
Yeah, it's still existing.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, it's doing fine. It's standing, and it's not just a company that we just run. Maybe the two of us. There are people that we have engaged in, the people that we are working with, that have got families, and they are depending on the same company that we are running. Okay, I'm not saying that maybe try to boast or anything, but I'm just trying to talk and speak reality.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes. So we opened up a company which has been running so well. And after we said, okay, I've opened up a company, let's also try to open up something. We started Airtel business, Airtel Money. Yeah, Airtel Money, we ran with it despite the challenges, missing some monies. These scammers right now these days.
Yeah, for sure.
But better money given. So with all those challenges, and then after the Airtel Money, we said, which other business can we open? We thought of opening a school, like she mentioned. And I said, good at school, Malumbo. It was built. So we are also looking forward to open another one.
Okay.
Yeah, because I believe in multi-purpose.
Okay.
I believe in having multi of business. With the global economy that everybody is facing today, people are talking about monies are not flowing well, challenges of finding monies, and of course that's just what is happening globally, not just in Zambia, globally. Business is somehow
limping.
Yeah. So I believe in having a number of them. I believe in having a number of businesses, so that if the other one is not standing, the other one is able to help the other. Because I believe even the time Malumbo was just starting, I told my wife, okay, we are starting Malumbo. So the clearing company, at first, at a period of time, it was the one that was paying the employees at the school. Because I believe when you start a business, you need to see it to be stable at a particular time. So that if the other one is starting, the other one should be able to help the other one. I remember it very well the time we started Airtel Money. I told my colleague to say, okay, Airtel Money is starting, and we don't have much capital. We had about 6 booths the time we were starting. So we said, okay, the business is starting, but it won't pay the workers in a period of 1 year. Because why? We want to generate capital. So what we did, the clearing company that we had, since it was doing well and still doing well, so it was the one that was able to pay
the workers.
So until it had reached a stage that it was able now to begin to pay the workers. So what am I trying to speak? Whenever you are starting a business, you need to plan for it. Most of people today, they have failed to do business because why? They fail to plan. So you need to plan, you need to have a strategy in whatever that you do. So that's a strategy that me I've used and I've seen it working for me. Yeah, so I think that's a little story I can share.
All right.
It can go on and on.
For sure. The time is so for us. But anyway, we've got a number of issues that we'll be actually talking about. But yes, the way you've explained some of the touches you've made in the journey of your business up to this particular time. Now, we should be coming to a point where now we need to introduce the current business that you're running. I don't know, maybe there are others apart from, like I heard it from you, sir. You say that you've got a running company, which is a clearing company, and Malumbo School is the one that mostly has actually brought you here, because that's the most familiar one. For me, it's the first time I'm hearing that you're running a clearing company. And again, it's the first time I'm getting that there is an Airtel company, Airtel Money company. I didn't know. But my interest mostly is Malumbo Christian Academy. Now, coming to the school, I would want to know what motivated you to think of coming up with the school. Because what I'm seeing is the way you've explained both sides. You people, with the business that you've been doing, quite right, you've said you love to do multiple, this and that, but there must be something motivating you. You don't just jump into something of which you said of planning again, but I believe I would want to learn, maybe as we are speaking also to mentor somebody who's listening, the involvements. Madam, where's the motivation coming from for you to think of a school, apart from maybe other things, but you just thought of a school?
The motivation is that is keeping us even today, be able to provide quality education with excellence.
Okay.
Yes. We've seen a number of schools, we've been to a number of schools, we've gotten inspiration from other schools as well. But what motivated us to start a school is wanting to provide education also, not mainly, but also to the less privileged that are not able to take themselves or their parents are not able to take them to school. We have that provision in our school, and also just offer education with excellence. Yes, differently from what others, not really different from what others are offering, but we offer our best, what we, to the people.
Okay. So the motivation is to give that excellent quality education, and you thought of, let's try and give it to the public. Sir, I don't know, maybe you've got a different way of narrating the story, the motivation itself, because I believe you were sharing ideas as you were planning, like you stated. So side of, part of you, where was the motivation in the first place?
Actually, to be honest, it's my wife that came up with that idea of opening up
the power of marriage. I like it.
Yes. And then she shared with me the idea, and I saw that it was okay, though not knowing where to start from. But by God's grace, as my colleague, I think I'll call her my colleague. Yeah,
she is your colleague when it comes to business and work.
Yeah. So as my colleague, I saw it that she really had a vision for it, and then I had to also to work with it and just help one another. So like as Malumbo Christian Academy is a school with Christian moral values, as much as we are attached to the education sector. Yeah, because our vision is to provide education with excellence, like she mentioned. Yeah, so actually that's where the motivation actually came from, because we looked also around. After she told me, I had to do a survey in Chirundu to say, okay, how are schools in Chirundu? how are they built, what is the structure, what is involved. I had to involve a number of people that have been in that field, and then I gathered courage, and I was and in the end I was motivated to say, okay, my colleague, my wife, we can do this.
Okay.
Let's begin with this. Because I remember very well, we started with a rented place.
Okay.
Today we have our own structure.
Oh, that's good.
We have our own facility that we are working on, and we are improving it for the excellence of everything that is being provided.
All right.
Yeah.
Dear listeners, we are discussing business in the studio, and I'm having the two directors for Malumbo Christian Academy right on the Business Talk. We just get to wait from our sponsors. But remember, if you are following the program, we'll introduce the phone numbers right after the break, so that you can also be part and parcel of our discussion in the studio. We'll be back.
To Chirundu District and
40. So if you are motivated with what we are discussing in the studios, and you have any question or any contribution, you can call in, and we'll actually give you time to also participate on the discussion. Okay, now going on with our discussion, like I said, much interested with Malumbo Christian Academy, and I would love to know the profile of the school for someone who's listening, the existence, for how long has been the school operating, and maybe how is it, what is going on at the school. I'll start with you, madam.
Okay, Malumbo is not very old. We started in 2020. So basically we are two years.
2 years.
This is our third year.
Okay.
Yes, we started in 2020. We started with from baby class to grade 4. But this year we also have up to grade 7.
Okay.
Yes, our aim as a school is to render our young minds with the learning mindset to want to achieve and thrive as a more productive individual that is ready to apply the need to and explore the world, hopefully, and help them shape their own future prosperously.
Yeah, prosperously.
Yes.
True, yeah.
Yes, that is our aim as a school. Our vision is to provide education with excellence in a clean and serene environment, of course, Christian environment, because as you can tell from, we are a Christian academy. So our vision is to provide education with excellence in a clean and serene environment for a brighter future for our learners. And our mission, why we are here, is that we offer education through differentiated instructions, collaborative work, inclusive practices, and continuous analysis for academic achievement.
Okay.
And so we've been here, we are working towards what I have said, that we help our children in becoming independent and self-reliant as they grow up. And so they say charity begins at home. Malumbo is a home for our learners.
Okay.
As a second home.
That's true, yeah.
Yes, for our learners. So we try by all means. We realize that children spend most of their time at school. When they go home, it's maybe from 16 to 19, they are back, they are sleeping. So most of their time is spent at school, and therefore we want to help our parents, our fellow parents, to be able to raise children that will become self-reliant, able to tackle challenges with a different mind, of course, with a Christian mind. That aspect is never forgotten.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Nyomero, I heard you spoke of some of despite the challenges, but most importantly, I got interested in the immersion of COVID-19. Like I wanted to know how the school has been in the previous year, 2022. And prudently, you spoke of COVID-19. But again, the school is still existing 2 years. I don't know, this is the second year? Third year now. So meaning you've actually managed to overcome, I think, that. But I would want to learn from you. Like I said, we've got a number of schools. And it was quite challenging some time back when the COVID-19 actually began to impact. Schools were closed. some of them, as we speak, and they're still limping in terms of putting things together. But I would want to learn from you as Malumbo Christian Academy, how did you manage to overcome the pandemic during that time? Maybe I'll begin with you, sir, before the madam can also maybe come in. I can see she wants to also, okay.
Okay, quite okay when schools were actually closed at that particular time. It was quite challenging, very challenging, because I believe even there was even that time when even the government had allowed to say schools must open, but they should mask up.
Yeah. Provide some certain needed facilities.
The 5 golden rules.
Yeah, for the 5 golden rules.
Yes, so even when the learners came in, when schools were opening, it was quite challenging because even some parents were actually a little bit skeptical in bringing their children to school because of the pandemic. Yeah, but otherwise we managed to run. And they say when challenges come in such a manner, in life you don't need to run away from them, but you need to find a way on how you can help yourself. Yeah, but we thank God that by God's grace, COVID at a particular time it was normal.
And it's back this time.
And it's back this time. We have heard that there are some cases around. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll run whatever the policies that the government will tell us to do. I know people start masking up. Already, I've seen people already masking up. So we'll run with that. Otherwise, we can't run away from it. It's something that we just need to run with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are a businessman, sir, but again, with the way the pandemic impacted last year, with in the process of your runnings at the school, do you consider that to be something which had maybe subjected you to make a loss in terms of income generation as a school, because that's business automatically? Yeah,
actually, we had a loss because we were supposed to pay the teachers. You see, you're supposed to pay the teachers, and we have employed people that are depending on the school. Like I mentioned in the first place, to say when you're beginning a business, you need to plan. You need to have mouth, so that if the other one is not okay, the other one is also able to help the other branch or the other sector of business that you have. So quite okay. The losses were, to be honest, the school had reached a point that we never had so much resources. But through having mouth business, we were able to run the school. Well, even up to this time, the school is intact.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's an assurance to the parents at some point. Maybe bagamvera COVID ya bwera dia obvious ku Malumbo. But we are told it's still intact. Madam, you wanted to raise your views as well in line with what transpired last year in terms of COVID.
Yeah, I think the time we started in 2020, I remember schools were supposed to open on the 4th of January. And because of COVID, the cases were rising every day. They had to push to 24th, 2 weeks later.
Okay.
And when we opened, we started, it was very challenging because, when you are starting a business, people have not yet created that confidence in you to coupled with the COVID and the like. And so we had few pupils in school. And to make the matters worse, in the same year, schools closed for almost 3 months. And we my co-director said that rentals had to be paid. Despite the schools not running, rentals had to be paid. And therefore, it was really difficult. And at some point, we questioned God to say, did we really venture into something that is going to work for us? Because this is our first year, and my schools were valid, and COVID, the cases were just going up and up. I think the COVID was the biggest challenge for us in 2020. But God, in His infinite wisdom, was able to bring down the cases. Schools were opened, and it hasn't been easy, but we've managed to pull through, be able to provide. We just strictly adherence to the 5 golden rules. We've been able to stand, and here we are. Yeah.
All right, now again, maybe just to a parent who's listening, who happens to have a child at Malumbo Christian Academy, in as much as we are talking of the cases that are coming up right now as a district, I believe 34 COVID-19 cases so far that we've recorded. And the panic already maybe might come into, so probably we might get back to the same situation of the previous. But how did you manage to take back the confidence to the parents to say, okay, in as much as schools have been put on hold because of this COVID-19, don't panic, your children will still make it, will still give your children that quality education they deserve, and actually they will bring back intended results.
Yeah, first and foremost, following the 5 golden rules: social distancing, masking up, always washing your hands. We managed to employ all those, and thank God we did not record any cases in school. By God's grace, we have not recorded any till now.
Okay.
And we pray that we shall not record any case from our school. And so we emphasize on parents making sure that their children always come with masks. We emphasize on we have our classes are big enough for our children to do social distancing.
Okay.
Yes, and from there we always train our children to also know the 5 golden rules. We talk about them on assembly, we talk about them in class, especially that we are having more cases. We talk about them every now and then. We put buckets around every time. We avoid handshakes and also avoid games that encourage coming close to each other. Yes, so we do activities that can I say COVID friendly?
Yeah, COVID friendly, sure.
Yes, so activities that that bring people close to each other, we avoided them. And so being a school that has not recorded cases of COVID amongst our learners, I think that has sent a good message to our parents and giving them confidence that their children are safe in our hands.
Oh yeah, that's good. Mr. Numero, actually, let's get back to the point where you said one of the challenges again, like this year, coming from last year, is the issue of government scoping, maybe employing a number of teachers, and mostly those are the teachers that are coming from your schools, like you, private entities like Malumbo Christian Academy. I don't know. Kuna show my teachers school kwa government.
Yeah, actually, about teachers. 4
of them.
Yeah, 4
of them.
Malumbo. Actually, yeah, 4 of them they were actually picked.
Okay.
Which we five actually.
Okay.
Which we celebrate with them.
Okay.
Despite knowing that they were good teachers and them going a step ahead in their career, which we appreciate God for that. Though we are left somehow broken to say, God, bring us people that I like.
Okay.
These ones that are going.
Yeah.
And we had to find time with Madam. We prayed, and we saw applications coming in because we had actually advertised. We saw applications coming in. And to assure you, at Malumbo, we have got the best teachers. From the time we started that school, we have always had best teachers. Teachers that are principled, teachers that are disciplined, mature, and they are able to deliver the best to the learners. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, but as in, for the gap itself that has been, that was there, because in the process, I believe, lessons were supposed to be, ongoing. But again, like the way I questioned the madam earlier, was it not a challenge at some point whereby pupils were lagging behind? And I would love to understand how you overcame it, because we are trying also to build a bit of confidence in the parents who are sending children to your school.
or maybe okay, before she comes in. Actually, the time the teachers were being picked was mostly during the holidays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't really like a big thing. Yeah, so we find that even during that period we were able to receive applications for other teachers that were actually able to be picked. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless if she has anything to add on.
Sure.
Yeah, when you children get used to a particular teacher, it's difficult for them to again come and attach themselves to another. And when the teachers left, we didn't really have that gap because immediately their names came out. They actually, before they left, like the likes of Mrs. Mwemba, they helped us look for good teachers.
Okay.
Yes, so they recommended teachers who would come and help us. So the time the schools were opening, we had already teachers who had replaced them, and so the gap was not there. It was just a little bit of a challenge. Maybe the children acclimatizing themselves to the new teachers, but so far so good. We didn't have that much of a gap. Yes, so that is that.
It was overcome, all right.
Yeah, we overcame it.
Dear listeners, we go for another short break. We just get a word from our sponsors. Remember, you can also be part of the discussion, but quite smoothly flowing. We are actually discussing with the two directors from Malumbo Christian Academy. We'll be back.
To Chirundu District.
Having the two directors for Malumbo Christian Academy, and as we are wrapping up our discussion, Madam and the Mr. in the studio, maybe I would want to know, maybe from the years to come, like already we're starting this new year 2023, are there some certain a program that you've lined up already, new things that you'd want to maybe share with our listeners out there from your school? I'll start with you, sir. Or maybe the madam can take it up.
Yeah, I think she can take it up first.
Yeah.
Okay. This year, our priority number one is to continue offering the best. Yes, we continue offering and tutoring active learning subjects such as mathematics, English, environmental science, technology studies. We also want to introduce, of course we did it a bit last year, we also want to do our learners, we want them to learn about Christmas, so we do Christmas presentations for this year. Our children, we are a Christian school, yeah, and so we tried it last year, came out okay, so this year we continue with the same. We are also hoping to start literacy and numerous for elderly people. Yaja mapunzira bakulu bamene sibazi bakuberenga. So we are hoping to start this year kubabwera kupunzira kuberenga na kupenda bakulu. So we are also hoping to start in this year tuitions for grade 7. So because we can't go to grade 9 because we only have grade 7. So we'll be offering this year tuitions for grade 7, those that will be sitting for exams, especially that government has changed the policy this year. But remember, grade 7, mukaferuka, someone in grade 8, kulibevo enda direct, no. The Ministry of Education wachinja ija policy. So we want to also offer tuitions. So if you have your children, mungabalete kuma tuitions that our teachers will be offering. And also, by God's grace, we might start GCE in the nearest future.
That's good. As we are closing also, sir, maybe there's one question I'd love to ask you. Maybe what could be your take to those that would want to also maybe to venture into your business, like for a school? What would be your advice?
My advice to those that would want to venture into this business is the most important thing is to have the courage. Yes. And also not to be too comfortable with where you are. Because I remember there's one person who said sometimes your comfort zone becomes like an hindrance to your success. Yes, so I would advise someone out there to say everything is possible if you gather yourself courage and you plan for it well. Everything is possible. So let's bring out fear out of anything that we want to venture in. As long as your goals are good goals, as long as your goals are stipulated nicely, I'm telling you, you'll be able to work it out.
Okay.
So just gather yourself and put things in place.
All right.
Otherwise, everything is possible.
All right, thank you so much. I must thank you so much, Madam Mrs. Priska Lekasi-Piri, for your time. And also, Mr. Numero Piri, thank you so much for making time on the platform. Looking forward to have you if any need arises. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. But I just have my closing remarks.
Before I forget, before you give me what you want to give the public, the location for the school, where is it exactly? Because I don't take much of my time, me being on radio, playing the adverts, whatnot, but where is the school exactly?
We are located in
Mazongololo.
Plot number 39 and 40,
Okay.
just next to Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's where we are located.
All right. You wanted to say something, anyway?
Yes, just an encouragement to someone that wants to venture into a business or any other business.
Any other business, huh?
Yes. The first things maybe that you're supposed to do is you should have a plan of what you want to do. Have a long-term plan and a short-term plan. Yeah. Then also count the cost of the business that you want to venture in, because even the Bible says count the cost of what you want to do, so that for instance, I want to sell fish. How much do I need to sell fish? Where do I get the fish? Yes, and have a vision for what you want to do, because that vision is what is going to help you carry through. Even when it seems like the business is not doing fine, but because you have the vision within you. In fact, the Bible says write down your vision.
Okay.
When you write it down, you always look at it. It will help you carry through. And also know your market.
Okay.
Don't just come up with a business. You don't even know the market where you're going to get customers from. Of course, there's already somebody doing the kind of business you are doing.
Sure.
Yes. So if you start a business, you have a target market. You have certain people. For instance, as we started with our own children, we have 3 children. So we said they are our first students.
Yes.
Yes, and the teachers that we had, they have children, so they brought their children as well. And so, like that, you have a market, and when you study your market, if people are offering the same service, how different can you offer it so that you attract people to buy your products that you're selling?
That's good. Now, thank you so much once again. Dear listeners, we end today's business talk. We appreciate for your listenership. We are discussing to the 2 directors for Malumbo Christian Academy, Mrs. Priska Lekasi-Piri and Mr. Numero Piri. My name is Crispin Accents Yamateke Jr. Join us next time. Good night.